You can't go wrong with Now It's Dark.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about the 2024 film The Substance with Demi Moore, Dennis Quaid, and Margaret Qualley. And this movie was crazy. All of the people that are saying how insane this movie is, it actually lives up to that in my opinion. It's a 2 hour and 21-minute film. I am actually surprised to say that I sat through the whole thing without having to get up to go to the bathroom. And that usually means that I'm pretty into the movie. So on IMDb, all of the tags include body horror, dark comedy, monster, horror, drama, and horror. And yeah, those all are very fitting. This was written and directed by Coralie Farragut, and I'm sure I said that wrong. Um, and what a really wild ride this movie was. It is about a fading celebrity taking a black market drug, a cell replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. And that fading celebrity is Demi Moore. And kudos to her for being brave enough to take on this role. It was pretty intense. And there's actually a surprising amount of nudity in this, but not like gratuitous. At first, I got all excited. I'm like, ooh, booba, as the 17-year-old in me usually does when I see boobs on the big screen. But we see full frontal backside nudity of Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley, and it actually is a theme that's loosely thread through the movie as we see some body uh, changes happening throughout the movie. Dennis Quaid plays Harvey. He's like a TV show producer, executive guy. He's crazy in this too. And literally, the three of these, I could easily see them getting nominations for Academy Awards. I know that's wild to say about a movie that's going to be predominantly genreized as body horror, horror movie. Um, and that's one of the things that drew me to this, because body horror is hit or miss for me. Like, I didn't like The Society, but this does it a little different until the very wild, crazy ending. Um, I'll be as spoiler free as I can about it. But basically, Demi Moore, she's kind of riding out into the sunset, the last of her fame, so to speak. She's doing workout television show. It sounds like it's a morning show, and we are kind of given clues that she had a more predominant history in film, and potentially even had won an Oscar. The opening sequence is very cool too, where they show her star being placed in the sidewalk, her Hollywood Walk of Fame thing. The movie is shot beautifully. There's a lot of interesting sounds that I love to hear, that are maybe tropey, but I do love them. Visually, a lot of really unique angles, long hallways, a lot of um, psychedelic kind of movements with the camera. There's point of view shots, and when one of the characters may be feeling dizzy or something, the camera really kind of reflects that. And I appreciated all of that. There was more blood in this than I expected. I have very limited notes because it's hard to take notes at the theater. Um, a lot of imagery, particularly with eggs, and that's kind of a tropey thing as well. But I do appreciate it. I get totally what the whole thing behind that is. Um, so she's riding out. She's about to lose her show. She's kind of at her wit's end. This is the Hollywood image, social message, I suppose. She decides to take this black market drug. She's kind of somehow given a message about this substance being available, And so at first she ignores it, but then she just goes for it. And it's a whole kit, and it's a weekly kit. And basically, she has to inject herself with this substance. And then there's rules that you have to follow to maintain the integrity of your body while your body produces a second copy of you, just a younger, better version of yourself, I suppose. And then each of you are not individual, you are one. And that's a repetitive message. You are one, respect the balance. And as egos take over, things start to go sideways and the rules aren't stuck to. And there's so many really good things in this, subtle things, and just like you kind of almost get to a point where you're like, what would you do in this scenario? And it's just really interesting. But the acting is so good. Again, Demi Moore really, really did so good in this that I don't know who else I would think of that could be in this movie now that I've seen it with her in it. Um, so her doppelganger ends up being her replacement for that exercise show, and it takes off really, really well. Basically, you have 7 days on, 7 days off. So if you're the person that took the substance and created your duplicate, the duplicate has 7 days of free reign, power over, but they are one person, so to speak. So um, you have to be kind of aware of what you're doing because it's going to affect the other person when it's their turn for 7 days. And you kind of go into a dormant state when it's not yours, but there's rules to follow. And as can be expected, younger version maybe wants more than 7 days at a time. So that's pretty much all I can say. But the body change, the horrific body change that Demi Moore's character goes through, and also her duplicate, Sue. I don't think I mentioned Demi Moore's character's name is Elizabeth, and Margaret Qualley's name is Sue in this. And they both go through some horrific changes, and they did some very, very cool practical effects, creating this thing at the end that I don't want to spoil. But if you're kind of on the fence about this movie, I would take a leap. I'm not sure how much longer it'll be in theaters. Um, at the time that I filmed this video, I had just seen it. It was October 4th, so hopefully I'll get this up by the 5th. But definitely worth calling in for the day at work to go see. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below. It's rating really high. I just wonder how many people. I didn't do any research and I didn't want to watch any reviews because it's one of those movies where if there was something very um, important to the film, I didn't want to have it spoiled because this is kind of one of those one of a kind of movies. I don't know if I could say the word kind a few more times. Um, but it's really good. If you saw it, let me know in the comments down below. If it's on your radar and you're just waiting for it to go to streaming, I don't hate you for that. This would potentially be something that I would watch again if it comes to streaming soon. But yeah, that's going to do it. Substance 2024, definitely worth a watch. At least check out um, some of the other reviewers besides myself. I'm going to now go look for other reviews just to see if I got the same reaction that other people did. I'd love to hear what negatives people might have to say about this movie. Like Dennis Quaid's character is a little over the top to the point where a few times it was campy, but I don't know if that was um, real or not. Like this is a dark comedy, so but I also think some of the imagery is coming from the point of the view of either Elizabeth or Sue. So I think some of the things that they're taking in are exaggerated on purpose, if that makes sense. Like they're taking it in as more of an exaggeration than maybe Dennis Quaid's character was actually being. I don't know if that makes sense. Probably like a lot of my stuff that it's on this channel. It doesn't make a lot of sense. That's going to do it. Have a happy October and keep checking back to the channel for more great stuff.